Have you ever wanted to be an F1 driver? Crave the fame, danger, glory?
Ernie! You stand there for 30 minutes. Get the hell out of my office. Okay.
Finding yourself lacking the skills, the experience, and the ginormous balls of a real F1 driver? Or alternatively, a rich oligarch daddy to buy you in?
Truth be told, I don't have any of those things either, but I found the next best thing. OLM's version 3 F1 brake light. And today, we're gonna be using this bad boy to break up some of that plastic on the rear end of the new WRX. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Hello. Step 1, pop the trunk. Step 2, get this clip off. Step 3, pry this cover off. You can't do it with your fingers, but if you're trying to save them for your wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, use a flathead, pry it towards the back of the car. That's 1, and that's 2. Voila. Next, you're gonna reveal 2 10mm bolts. You can just use a 10mm, or if you got a Texas-sized Phillips laying around, you can just use that, brother. Once you have those bolts out, just stick your finger behind here, kind of pull harder on this side, and very easy, should not take a lot of force. All right, once you have it out of the clip, we just have this one electrical clip to undo. Pretty simple, at least should be. Oh, why does that have to be so hard? A couple of things to point out before I show you how to splice into it. I've seen videos of people splicing into the body harness. Do not do this. If for some reason goes wrong, you're gonna be in a world of pain, a world of hurt. Instead, splice into the back of the tail light. Something goes wrong there, you buy a new tail light, you're good. Second, if you're a wiring newbie like me, pick up a box of posi tabs. These are awesome, they make things simple. I'll show you guys in just a second. And third, if you wanna avoid splicing altogether on this new model, I've heard through the grapevine that OLM's working on a plug-and-play kit and it should be here pretty soon. Okay, now that we have our taillight out, it's time to start hunting for the appropriate wires to tap into. Your running light will be a green and yellow wire, your brake light will be green and red, and then your ground will be black. And keep in mind, wire colors will vary from driver to passenger side. We're doing the driver side, so if you want to mimic that, it might be a whole lot easier for you. All right, so if you picked up a box of posi tabs like I did, all you need to do is grab the correct size. I'll be using the 20 to 22 gauge size, which is the red one. You simply take the cap, put it onto the wire, take the other side of the posi tab, and simply screw it in. And boom, you are, just like that, you are tapped in. So we just did the ground. Next, we're gonna tap into the green and yellow, which is the running light wire. And last but not least, the brake light wire, which is the red and green. And just like that, we are all spliced in. All right, now that we're all tapped in on the taillight side, it's time to connect the OLM harness. All you're gonna wanna do is grab the other side of the posi tab, stick your wire through it, and simply connect the corresponding lights. So in this case, the red OLM wire will go to the yellow and green one. All you're gonna wanna do is just stick the wire kinda in there. and then just simply screw the cap on. All right, now that the running light's connected, it's time to do the brake light, which would be the blue wire on the OLM harness. Same thing, grab the other end of the posit tab, stick your wire through it, and then this guy's going to the green and red wire. Now the OLM harness did come with a ground ring, but the bolt on the 22 WRX is kind of hard to get to, so I instead just stripped it off, and we're gonna do the exact same thing with this. Stick it through the cap, stick the wire inside the posit tab, and screw the cap on. All right, and that's the attaching part done. We can get back to the rear of the car now. With our two harnesses spliced together, it's time to stress a very important point. Always check your work before you reassemble everything at the very earliest step you can, which is this step right here. So now, I'm not gonna do the prettiest thing right now because we're just testing. We're just gonna plug our harness back into the taillight, get the wires kind of out of the way so they don't get pinched, stick our post clip back in, and then connect the OLM harness to the F1 light. Now we're gonna turn our ignition on and hope it works. All right, so that should be our running light. And looks like our brake light works as well. All right, ladies and gents, I unplugged the F1 light from the harness. I'm gonna move this bad baby out of the way, and then we are simply going to funnel this harness through to the bottom. Now that we've fed the wiring harness down, we can start reassembling all of this. There's that. The cover, you're gonna wanna align these two clips in first and then just simply pop it in. There's that. Then our little Phillips clip. And voila, we're all done here. I'll see you guys underneath. Welcome back. Welcome to the underneath of the car. First thing to do, take these 4 plastic clips out. I already removed them. You can see this gives us some leeway. And to get the actual piece you're gonna be replacing with the F1 light out, you can either stick your hands up and undo 2 top clips, or just use a plastic pry tool or like something like a flat head with a microfiber over it. And bada bing, bada boom. These are the 2 top clips you're gonna be looking for. Next thing you're gonna wanna do, grab your F1 light, grab the bracket that came with it, go ahead and install it onto the actual light. Should look like this. Clips on the bottom of the light. All right, next thing you gotta do, grab the J-nut that came with the F1 light, and you're going to slide it onto the passenger side of the bumper bracket. It's right in there. You just wanna slip it right over the hole. Kind of a pain. All right, once you've heard a pop, you know your J-nut is on there well. I'll get a closer video for you guys like right now. All right, next it's time to actually pop in the F1 light. You're gonna wanna make sure that the plastic bracket on the bumper goes in between the light housing and the metal bracket on the housing. Also, be careful not to scratch it on that sheet metal up there, because it's kind of sharp. Now that the light housing is nice and situated, time to grab the bolt and the pop clip and install them. Pop clip goes on the driver's side, bolt goes on the passenger side. All right, now that we have everything tightened down, all that's left is to route the wiring harness, plug it in, put the clips back in, drop the car, and go show off to your friends. Well, would you look at that? I think it breaks up some of this plastic very nicely. And now I get to feel like Michael Schumacher when I'm out on the road. So, win-win for me. One more quick tip before we finish up. If you for some reason want to disable the flashing function on the F1 Light, all you have to do is step on the brake and then quickly 3 times turn your lights on and off. That should disable the flashing. Your brake light will still illuminate brighter when you're braking, it just won't flash. And then if you want to turn it back on, you just do the same thing again and it just cycles. So that's about it for today's video, guys. I will see you next time. Also give me a like so my boss still doesn't think he made a mistake by hiring me. Bye.